Talking with David Rousseau once again, who dropped by, not because of the fact that he happens to also be the president of SRP, although that would be nice, I suppose. We could talk about utility rates.
Sure.
But instead, let's talk about the Super Bowl, because he happens to be the chairman of the Super Bowl host committee. There's so much to talk about between now and February the 1st of the kickoff, like, for example, how the communities are working cooperatively together.
Yeah, I think our market is a regional market, and the Super Bowl is symbolic of that, where there will be lots of activities in downtown Phoenix for the week leading up to it. The Waste Management Phoenix Open is happening in Scottsdale. Scottsdale's having their own Fan Fest at Scottsdale Fashion Square. Tempe has a number of activities, and then obviously DirecTV and Game Day are prominently held, appropriately held in Glendale.
Well, so you've got that kind of activity going on rather than the competition that so often happens in a community when we're saying, no, wait a minute, why can't you hold that over here? And we feel left out. It seems to be a real valley-wide kind of an event coming up.
Absolutely. I think we have some world-class elements in our market, whether it's educational, whether it's healthcare, and those things draw on the whole valley, and the whole valley's better for their existence. And I think the Super Bowl is much the same way, and like I said, it's going to play out on a very broad landscape.
When we look at the history of the 49 Super Bowls, coming up to 49 with ours, do you borrow from the successes of past Super Bowls, and do you reject the things that didn't work so well?
No, I think there's a natural evolution. I think the NFL has a brand that continues to evolve and heighten, and I think it's an opportunity to keep upping your game. You learn from prior markets and what they did well and where there's opportunities to improve, and so we're the beneficiaries of everybody that's experience that's gone before us.
David, this segment that we regularly do is called World Class Arizona, and I think one of the things that really makes the Super Bowl and the Super Bowl host committee really world class is what you continue to give back to the community, and I'm talking about the fact that already the nonprofits have benefited.
Yeah, when we're done, we will have given in excess of $2 million, $1 million that we raised, and then matched by an NFL $1 million. And so that $2 million is something that Jay Perry and her professional staff, led specifically by Mackenzie Fitzgerald in the nonprofit community giving program, but then also everybody on my volunteer host committee that's raised the money. It's something that we can all point to long after this in terms of the impact that we've had. I think in the initial third that we gave away, we impacted about 150,000 youths. We talked earlier about the ASU prep field dedication and scoreboard.
But talk about that again, though, because a lot of folks may be hearing about this for the first time.
Yeah, so ASU Prep, which is a great vision of part of Dr. Crow's ever-evolving vision, which is if you're going to do education right, middle school and secondary school, or middle school and high school rather, they ought to be able to show people what that looks like. And so ASU Prep is one of their ASU-owned schools. It's more or less at the same location where Phoenix Union was in downtown Phoenix at 7th Street and Van Buren, and they had an in-need facility from a facility perspective on their field, and the host committee, in conjunction with the Cardinals and the NFL, we were able to resod their field and provide them with a new scoreboard. And I think it's a great testament that right in the sort of shadow of where Super Bowl Central will be in downtown Phoenix, and 1 million people celebrating all of the sort of consumer-facing sponsor activity and entertainment and the like, that's something that's very organic in our community, got that appropriate upgrade.
And with only a few seconds left, let's talk about another football field. Our stadium. Does the NFL like our place?
I think they love it, and it's not a coincidence they're back 7 years after the last game in 2008, and we're excited about successfully completing this effort and having them back even sooner next time.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, as soon as the NFL takes a look at all the other comparisons, they, like we, will probably regularly acknowledge the fact that this town, world class, Arizona.